This is the HaltingWinter Podcast. I'm your host, Seth Winterhalter. HaltingWinter exists to help leaders and organizations operate at peak performance so they can make more money and spend more time doing what matters most. Today, I want to tell you a little bit of an update about HaltingWinter. Over the last year, I've been building this company, this organization, to do that, to help leaders and organizations operate at peak performance. I've spent a lot of this last year doing work with leaders, with executive coaching, and with something called the Spartan Program. You might be familiar with that. That is a program that's trying to help people become fit in their body and in their mind, become physically fit, mentally fit, emotionally fit. And so that's one of the aspects of HaltingWinter. But over the last specifically 3-4 months, I've been working with various organizations, learning about how to really help leaders and organizations, whether that's a for-profit or a nonprofit. And one of the things I just did is I went through StoryBrand. So Donald Miller runs an organization called StoryBrand, and they just have, I've always liked Donald's work. I've really resonated with the way he sees business and the way he breaks business into 6 parts. And so I worked with him. He's one of the, accreditations, I guess, as a coach consultant with his framework. So if you're interested in him and what he does, I've become, licensed as a coach with them. And I do a lot of other coaching, a lot of other programs and things that I use, different accreditations. But that's one of the things I'm most excited about is just what he's doing. And I'm really excited to both help businesses use some of his framework and some of what he does, but really also nonprofits, because that's my past. I was a pastor for 20 years. I started and led other nonprofits. And I really think that nonprofits, one of their hang-ups is they don't know how to run an organization. They know how to be passionate about their purpose. They know how to be passionate about helping people, about solving needs in their community and around the world, but they do not know how to operate a business. And all you need to do is go look at most of the websites of nonprofits, whether that's a church, whether that's a community endeavor, and their websites are horrible. Their marketing is not good. And that's because they're passionate about solving needs, not really operating the business side of things. And so I would like to see that change, because I think, specifically our nonprofits, but I feel the same way about business. Business is what makes the world turn. I believe in capitalism. I believe that goods and services are what help people develop. Both they give jobs, they give people a reason to live and to enjoy life. And so we need businesses. We need businesses to thrive. Businesses that are good businesses. They're actually providing good products for the world. But I also think we need nonprofits, because we have issues that businesses aren't here for. We need organizations to actually look at the needs of our people around us in our communities and see how we can make a difference, how we can make the world a better place for all people. So that's why I wanted to spend just a few moments in telling you kind of what I do, what I'm interested in, what HaltingWinter will be focused on. And so that, if this applies to you, you might reach out to us and go, man, I could use that. We could use that. Or if you know someone, you may say, man, I want to spread the word because I think what Seth's doing is a good thing, and I think he could really help some people that I know. And so I'd really be grateful if you would take a listen and spread the word. So 3 things I'm going to be focused on. Number 1, and that is leaders. I believe that healthy leaders have the biggest impact in the world. Whether you're leading an organization, you're leading a business, you're leading a family, you're leading yourself. The leaders, if you have influence in life, which means you're leading people, the way you lead is important. You need to be healthy. You need to be healthy physically so you can be an effective leader, not tired, exhausted. Because if you're not healthy physically, you're not going to be healthy mentally and emotionally. And that's where I think leaders have the greatest impact. If your leadership is not healthy emotionally, you're not going to lead in a healthy way. Your leadership is not going to have the intended results that you want. And so leaders need to be healthy. And so I want to work with owners of businesses. I want to work with CEOs, leaders of maybe executive team leaders over teams. I want to work with organizational leaders. I want to work with people like pastors, people who are leading either a for-profit or nonprofit organization. That's where I find I have the most experience, and I have a framework to help you make sure you're operating at peak performance, make sure you're prioritizing your physical, mental, and emotional health, so you are pouring out of a place of health. You're pouring out of a place of passion and purpose, instead of pouring out of a very shallow cup, because I think that when I look around, I know this was for myself, and when I look around at a lot of leaders, they are not pouring out. They're pouring out of half-empty cups at best, and most of those cups barely have drops in them. And I just think that what you're pouring out then is not good. And just because you have success does not mean that what you're pouring out is good. I was a part of one of the fastest growing churches in America, and its leadership, not just one person, but multiple people on that team, were not healthy, and that was the result. Just because it grew and was successful did not mean that its leaders were healthy, and the organization fell apart. I think due to multiple leaders not being healthy, not operating and pouring out from a place of filling their own cup and prioritizing their own cup. And so I want to encourage you, if you're a leader, I would love to have an opportunity just to talk with you and just to see if I can, A, encourage you, and B, if there might be a way for you to join some masterminds. I'm starting some masterminds, a specific one for pastors, a specific one for business owners, a specific one for whatever's needed. Like I want to group you people together so that you're kind of rowing in some similar waters as people. So talk with me, and let's talk about masterminds for you in the year ahead, or personal, just one-on-one coaching. The second thing is businesses. And again, I'm going to primarily be using Donald Miller's Story Brand Framework, and that's a 6-part. They break business into 6 parts. You have leadership, you have operation, you have sales, you have marketing, you have your products, and then you have cash flow. And I believe that there's some other things too. Like I'm a big culture guy. Culture is really not part of one of those. It's kind of ebbs and flows, but I love training. I love helping leaders and teams come together around culture and what's the culture of their organization. How do you have a healthy, thriving, robust culture? And I think there are some things in what Don Miller does, mission statements and the way you communicate, that lead to healthy cultures. But I also have some things that I've picked up along the way that I would speak in specifically with that. So there are more things than just the 6-part framework that I do. But if any of those interest you, or what we offer is a free assessment. We assess all 6 of those areas to see how you're doing, where you might be weak, where you might need your plane to get an overhaul, either an overhaul or maybe just some touch-ups, some tune-ups, so it's flying healthy in all those ways. And those ways are connected. I'm not surprised anymore. I was surprised when I was consulting earlier on. I had a different consulting business, and I was just always surprised at how many of the parts of a business were disconnected, how the marketing had no connection to really the mission statement, how the products had no connection to sales, except that they were being sold by them. But I was shocked that things didn't have as much connectivity. And that's one of the things I think that I'm uniquely gifted at, is helping a leader and helping an organization see not only how to connect those things, but to help them as they're connected to see how it just gives so much focus, how it gives so much clarity, how everyone on the team gets excited about working with each other. I worked with a lot of organizations over the last 20 years that where the departments were almost at war against each other, fighting for resources, fighting for dollars, kind of doing their own thing instead of all working together. And that's just that even if you have success in that model, it's not the success that you could have. It's definitely limiting. And I believe it ends up fracturing. It leads to people jumping ship and not having much loyalty to the organization. It leads to internal problems, infighting, and just not a healthy, thriving culture. So anyway, I want to encourage you, if you are a part of a business, if you're leadership of a business, maybe you're a small business owner or on the executive team, I would love to give you an assessment and then talk with you about that to see how we might help you operate at a higher level of peak performance. As well then with nonprofits. And here's one of the things I'm really excited about is taking that framework for businesses and helping nonprofits see how they can have a tighter ship, how they can have a tighter organization so that they can spend their time doing what they're most passionate about. And that is engaging with what their mission is, engaging with their purpose. But you need a healthy organization so that you can be effective, right? Don't settle for, I think there's just a lot of settling, whether you're a church or whether you're, especially in the nonprofit community sector world, the social work world, there's just a lot of settling. It's like, well, we're a nonprofit, so we're not going to make much money. We're a nonprofit, and so, this is just the way it is. And there are all these limiting beliefs, all these very limiting, not only beliefs, but then limiting lifestyle in that, well, we just got to do with what we got to take the little peanuts that we have and try to be effective with them. And it's true that you're not a business that's selling products, but you are an organization selling passion and purpose. And I think that you can be more effective in your fundraising, in the way you spread that mission, in the way you engage volunteers. And so that's what I take those 6 elements and adapt them. And so you still have a leadership team, you still have operations, you might not have sales, but you definitely you are selling the mission. You are trying to engage both volunteers, trying to engage support. You have marketing, and most marketing in nonprofits is horrible. You do have products, and those products aren't items that you're selling. Usually they are ministries, or they are the elements of what you do. So if you're Compassion International, those children are your products. You are trying to help bring children out of poverty. You are trying to get people to sponsor those children. So you have products. You just need to see what you're doing in light of that, and how do you make sure that you're just aligned. Then your marketing is aligned to that, your mission is aligned to that, and then cash flow. How are you making sure that you're wise in how you are, before you're spending money, how you're even organizing those buckets so that you not only have the cash to fund your endeavors, you are also thinking about the future and how you fund future creative work. And so anyway, really excited about the next chapter of Halting Winter, where we're going. And so would love to have an opportunity to talk with you. You're going to see an overhaul of our website and just making that easier for you to take part of some of the free tools that we have, whether that's an assessment, whether that's opportunities to grow and to learn more about how to become a better leader and how to operate at peak performance in your business or organization. So anyway, just taking a little bit of time this morning or today, whenever you're listening to this, to encourage you and to see what we're up to over at Halting Winter. And just know, man, I want to see you thrive. I want to see you thrive personally, specifically if you're a leader, but I also want to see your business and your organization thrive. And so take a look at what we're going to start offering and launching, and I would encourage you to be a part of that, because I believe in you, and I believe that you have another level to grow in. I think none of us are done growing, and in fact, one of the signs of a positive future is that we continue to grow, continue to mature, continue to learn, continue to become a better version of ourselves. So this is Halting Winter. Go check us out, haltingwinter.com. Until next time.